الحضور الكريم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Distinguished guests and cybersecurity leaders from the Kingdom and beyond, welcome to this year's edition of the Global Cybersecurity Forum. It's a great pleasure to stand before you today as we gather to address the most pressing challenges of our digital age, ensuring our critical infrastructure, economies, and prosperity from the right side of cyber threats. Today, I would like to go beyond the technicalities. I want us to zoom out and examine cybersecurity, not just from a technology or a business angle, but as a decisive driver of either future economic growth or economic slowdown. And that will be depending on the way we address cybersecurity today. We are at a turning point in this era of rapid digital transformation, which is unlocking incredible opportunities across the whole spectrum of sectors, such as energy, finance, transportation, healthcare, and the list goes on. This transformation comes at a cost, not just in terms of investment, but also in terms of risk exposure. Let's look at it today. These are the facts according to recent statistics. Today's global GDP is estimated to be around $14 trillion, with an annual growth rate around 3%, as shown on the chart on the screen. A significant portion of this enormous figure is relying on or using technology in cyber. Clearly, the technology adoption is going faster today than anticipated, accelerating the global economy, and as a result, the volume of digital data and assets pushed from the physical space to cyberspace is expanding exponentially, estimated in 2025 to be around 180 zettabytes of data. This basically represents the data that the machines are processing today as opposed to the manual processing in the past. Now, if we look at the ICT spend versus cybersecurity spend to protect these investments, we noticed that global spending on ICT is estimated to reach $5.6 trillion in 2025, while the allocated for cybersecurity is indeed a small portion, a mere $213 billion this year. That is 4% of the total global ICT spending. What is also intriguing is the speed, diversity, and complexity of cyber attacks and data breaches, which are estimated to be around 600 million attacks per day globally in 2025. And this figure is continuously increasing regardless of the economic situation, as we have seen during COVID 2020. If we translate these numbers into costs, the global cost of damages resulting from cyber attacks for 2025 is expected to reach around $10.5 trillion. This figure is already around 50 times of what we spend on protection, almost double the spending on the ICT sector as a whole, and represents around 9% of this year's global GDP. This means we already suffer today from a huge protection gap in terms of both quantity and quality of the spend on cybersecurity. What makes these figures even more astonishing is actually the final chart on the bottom right side. Today, the cost of launching a cyber attack starts from $20. Unfortunately, this is the only figure on the screen that is continuously decreasing. Now, if we put these figures together with emerging technologies in mind, especially with the layer of AI on top of them, what can we expect? Well, if you do true AI, it will definitely be a capacity and capability multiplier, a productivity multiplier of whatever you're doing. on both ends of the spectrum, the good actions and the bad actions as well. So with the adoption of emerging technologies, I believe these figures behind me will soon be history. AI is the most transformative technology in our lifetime, and by orders of magnitude, it multiplies whatever we do. If you take the first chart as an example, AI will definitely be a driver for economic growth, but it is also important to link it to the corresponding risk on the last chart, where simultaneous Gen AI attacks can be launched at net speed, autonomously, creating mutations of malwares on the go, targeting individuals, institutions, and societies. As such, the attack surfaces will be facing a completely different trajectory of cyber threats. In short, AI is a productivity multiplier that is paramount for both economics and cybersecurity altogether. This is the new economic reality. Cybersecurity is no longer a cost center. It is a strategic investment. Energy, logistics, and human capital. We must start thinking like economists who talk about cybersecurity. We must ask, what is the cost of inaction? Investment figures in cybersecurity must not only be based on financial spend, but it should also include the cost of avoidance. This will transform thinking of cybersecurity from a compliance checkbox to a real economic indicator. However, don't forget that economics is about quantification methods. And today, quantifying how much security we have in a given system is still a hard problem. Basically, we know, or maybe we think we know, how to build security, yet we don't know how to measure it. Therefore, it is important to adopt engineering practices in the cybersecurity domain. And that will give us all the quantification methods the cybersecurity needs. This is an opportunity for the research community, industry, and policymakers to invest more in developing quantitative evaluation techniques in the cybersecurity domain. And from this need came the establishment of the Center for Cyber Economics under the affiliation of the GCF Institute and the World Economic Forum, a role that cannot be overstated, to help the community gain real insights into how to strike the right economic balance between investment and protection and avoidance cost. Dear guests, our mission should be very clear. Protect ourselves, not just from the cyber threats, but also from the economic fallout those threats create. Cybersecurity should enable growth, not constrain it. As we stand on the frontier of AI and digital transformation, we must also be stewards of cyber economic resilience and long-yielding innovation. Innovation in today's digital world is a real differentiator for institutions and societies, as AI infrastructure and compute will soon be commodities. However, innovation can never be a commodity, and true innovation and quick wins will always be odds. Simply, the fastest path is not always the shortest path to win. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed to Dr. Saad for those insightful comments. Thank you. Time now, ladies and gentlemen, for our second panel discussion of the day. The title is Cybersecurity as an Economic Imperative Driving Growth in the Global Economy. Allow me to introduce to you your esteemed speakers. First up, we have Florian Schutz. He is Director of the Federal Office